You know, I think that this statement's going even wider. It's going global. It's such an insult to millions of people. And it's an insult to all Americans, not on the same level, but America was founded on the principle of religious liberty and freedom. And what he's saying just fundamentally goes against the American way.
And yet, his polling maintains very high levels, doesn't it?
It does maintain high levels. It is dropping. We actually saw one of the first polls come out just a few hours ago that Senator Ted Cruz is now ahead of him in Iowa at that first primary, which will take place in roughly 2 months' time. So he is slipping, and he knows he's slipping. It's a steady fall, and it's happening slowly, but we have to remember that this is a long race. The American primary process is a very long process.
Of course it is, but is he also drawing other candidates into having to declare what their position is, for example, about terrorism and what they would do?
What's certainly true is that there's a political vacuum at the moment, and no candidate, or frankly the president himself, is stepping up to the plate. Americans are scared after the Paris attacks, and they're very scared after the California attack just a few days ago. And what he's doing, he's taking advantage of people who feel like they don't have the support that they need from politicians right now, but he's taking the fundamentally wrong approach.
Well yes, and you know, you could speak for Republicans abroad, but when do you think Republicans are going to be, other candidates are going to be able to actually know how to deal with somebody like Donald Trump, because he seems to be wrong-footing everybody?
Yes, he is. Well, I think this might be the breaking point. It's hard to say, but you know, Jeb Bush from Florida, Senator Marco Rubio from Florida came out hard on Twitter immediately condemning this, saying this does not represent moderate Republicans, this does not represent our party. I think now they're going to really try to take this back from Donald Trump, say, you know what, actually you voted Democrat for most of your life, you've come into this race because you want more power and you want more privilege, and you're not going to take the Republican name and sully it in this way.
The fact is that he's a billionaire and he can afford to keep in the race right until the bitter end. And is that worrying?
It is genuinely worrying. I don't think you can buy the presidency, but you can definitely hang on for a long time. As something to also mention, you know, about the 4,000 tweets, 4,000 likes on his tweet and things like that, we have to remember that he's coming from a place of already being a celebrity. The people who are liking those tweets are people who will have followed him and have loved his outrageous behavior for a very long period of time. I don't think that they represent the average American voter.
But whenever I speak to people like you, they say, you know, you say that, you know, this is going to tail off. In the end, he's going to drop out of the race. How worried is Republicanism about this?
I think a bit. I think after the first Iowa primary, and once we start moving into the states and seeing how they vote, if Donald Trump does do well, I think people are going to be terrified. But we're not there yet. And like I said, we are slowly watching those poll numbers slip. He's still up there, but I think the hype has worn off, and people are slowly coming around to the idea that just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you should be in the Oval Office.